That's pretty cool, though, right? These guys, I mean, they appreciate what you did. That was a big moment for you, coaching-wise, right? Is that Mount Rushmore for you in terms of singular moments?
It was a great team moment. You know, we needed it. You know, the guys work extremely hard to prepare themselves for the moment, and you know, I'm just excited that in that situation at that time we were able to execute and get it done.
How much did LSU change up the front on that based on Jared's block of the earlier field goal?
Yeah, so you know, the very first field goal that we didn't block, we got really good penetration on it, and one of the adjustments we made on the sideline was be less thick on the tight end and get more skinny through the gap, and obviously that paid off, and we were able to get the block on the second attempt, and then as the game rocked along, you could tell that the tight end was very focused on making sure that he closed his inside gap, which ultimately opened up the gap for Shaheem coming off the edge, you know, at the end of the game. So all those things kind of tied together in terms of how it worked, and you know, the guys did a phenomenal job of executing, and more than anything, you know, it provided a great example for all of our players and everyone in the program. Because one of the things that is preached every day, Coach Norvell preaches, and all of our staff is two things. Number one is momentum's only it affects the people that allow it, and it only is as long as the next play. So you can change the momentum with one play. And then two is let your effort always be your defining factor. And the effort that was given, you know, after everything that went through at the end of the game was phenomenal. And it's what ultimately allowed us to come out of that successfully.
Are you getting information from the booth about alignment and stuff like that during the game, or how do you guys?
We do get information from up top, but in terms of that specific, you know, that was easy to see from the field level. But the guys that are in the box, Coach Woodson, Coach Shannon, they do a phenomenal job relaying feedback.
The two most punts, Wyatt and Brendan, how good of a job did they do at being at the point of where they need to be when the ball might hit the turf?
Yeah, you know, I think our guys did a really nice job in coverage. You know, one of the things that we emphasize, especially with Alex as our punter, because sometimes those Aussie-style punts, they do kind of have a weird knuckle to them, is expect the ball to come out. And, you know, if it doesn't, it doesn't. You're in position to go make the tackle on the play. But when it does, we need to capitalize on those opportunities. And, you know, I think, you know, off the top of my head, I think that's the fifth or sixth time Alex has forced a fumble with his hang time, and then the guy's doing a phenomenal job in coverage. And I'm pretty sure every time the ball's hit the turf, we've gotten it back. So, you know, guys really buy into that and believe in it.
And you had a few guys down there. It wasn't like just one guy down there, right?
Yeah, I thought the coverage was good. I think both of our cover units have been good so far to this point this year, but I thought our punt coverage guys did a great job getting down there and putting themselves in position if the ball did come out, which obviously it did, to make a play.
Ryan had to go out of bounds on kickoffs. Was he trying to hit it a certain way and just missed it? What happened on those two?
You know, initially when the first one happened, I thought it was just being a little bit overexcited. You know, there's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of motion coming out of the tunnel and leading up to the kickoff, and I thought maybe he tried to hit it too hard. You know, and I think once that happens, if you start to press at all, it becomes a little bit more difficult. I think once he made an extra point and kind of was able to take a deep breath, he did a nice job of composing himself. And then in the second half, I thought he did a nice job. So, you know, the thing I you know, was proud for him about was you got to be able to bounce back from those situations. And obviously that couldn't have been a worse start for him. But as the game rocked along, obviously he settled in and was able to finish nicely.
You mentioned the bounce back. You know, special teams overall in the first quarter kind of struggled. How big was it to see the unit bounce back, you know, and make the difference in the game?
Yeah, you know, I mean, you know, so with our guys, obviously not the start, you know, 2 kicks out of bounds, the missed field goal, not the start that you want, but you know, you just keep pushing, keep playing. And our guys have a lot of confidence and a lot of belief in the work that they've put in from a special team standpoint, and you know, believe every single time they have an opportunity to impact games with how we play. So obviously that showed up the other night, and I'm glad that it did, because it continues to reinforce the message that we send every day in the meeting rooms, is that we can dominate and win games with that third unit, that special teams phase, and it's critical for us to be able to do that moving forward.
In the kickoff return game, did you feel like it got cleaned up a little bit from Duquesne to LSU?
Yeah, much better in terms of just the drops, the kick return. Guys did a really nice job. We got a little bit beat on a one-on-one block on the interior, but partly we can set up his block a little bit better. But I thought we made improvement, and I think Sam, I continue to believe every single day that we're out here practicing and I watch him that he's going to be a weapon for us, and with the more opportunities that he gets, the better that he's going to be. I thought our punt block unit did a nice job. We went for the block on the first one, and it was close. Malik did a nice job of running through the block point. Obviously, they had a great punt, but Micah did a nice job fielding it. And then on the second one, we set up the same kind of look, and I think that was partly what forced the poor punt. So I was really pleased with the execution on the punt return unit coming out of it.
Shaheem's obviously a phenomenal athlete, but technique-wise, sometimes they go to the foot.
Yeah.
They do it all.
No, everything was by the book, and one of the things that we do, and I don't know what anyone else does, and I don't try to pretend to speak on what other people do in their practices, but I do know this, that we do a ton of live field goal reps, and the effort that Shaheem displayed on Sunday night was really the same effort that he gives in our tempo period to start practice or in our field goal block period. Like that's a guy that it's hard to turn him off. So when he was able to get through and make the play, it wasn't a surprise to me. And I think and obviously it makes our field goal unit better. I don't think it's a coincidence that we, a couple of years ago we had the 3 blocks in the opener against Georgia Tech, and we had a couple, and that was their opener this year. I think it's because the way we practice, and again, I don't know what other people do, but I do know how we practice, and it's full speed, and we get after it.
We've been writing about and talking about Jermaine and Kier leaving for about 9 months.
Yeah.
How'd you feel like the ends played?
I think as a collective, it was a solid performance. I think, Jared did a phenomenal job. I thought he had a really, really good game, and I think that was important for us, but also important for him, because that question, even after Duquesne, still lingers of, the level of opponent, right? That's still out there. I didn't have that question in my mind, but I'm sure people had that question because it was still an FCS opponent. And then to go play one of the better SEC teams traditionally, and who's super talented, and still have that level of performance, there should be no more questions, I don't think, of whether he's capable to play at this level. And it's something we always knew, but I'm glad that he was able to showcase that for everybody else.
Well, speaking about Jared Verse, what's your favorite qualities about him? Such an amazing person. Give me your favorite quality.
How do you pick one?
Just talk about how amazing.
Yeah, there's so many, I don't even know where to begin. But where I would start is just the work ethic and the toughness. I would start with that, and plus the endearing pain in the backside that you are.
One more.
Dennis and Derek, how did they do as well?
Yeah, I think both of them had moments that flashed. I think Dennis was very good, especially against the run. There wasn't much running game that was able to get started. He did a nice job, I thought, when he went inside in terms of execution of pass rush. It didn't really flash in terms of statistics or anything like that, but I think both of them had solid days, and we just got to keep building on it and getting better as we go.
Thank you, JP.
Thank you, guys.